Joins us from there. Guy is a professor at the School of International Service at DC's American University. Guy, thank you so much indeed for your time. You know, when the outside world looks at Israel, many people might think peace process. Those may be the first two words that come to outsiders' minds. How much is that an issue in this election, or is it much, much more about internal matters in Israel?
The peace process has barely figured into this election. There hasn't been a peace process since April of 2014, so it's a non-issue during this race. This is mostly yet again another referendum on Prime Minister Netanyahu. He's facing a string of corruption investigations. He might be indicted, and so much of the attention has been on him. And to the extent that issues were discussed, there were domestic issues such as the secular religious divide. That's been an issue in this election.
Benjamin Netanyahu has really set himself up as a friend of Donald Trump, kind of indicating that he and the US president together can keep Israel safe. I mean, there's no doubt really in the mind of the president of the United States who he'd like to win, and I can't imagine he wants anybody else apart from Netanyahu, mainly because just a couple of days ago, a few days before the election in Israel, Donald Trump says, I've been discussing a mutual defense treaty with Benjamin Netanyahu.
That's right. So, first of all, it's important to note that both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump are playing to their base. President Trump is very attuned to his base and the evangelical community, which is largely pro-Israel and wants to have a very hardline position adopted by the Trump administration, is looking and listening to every word Trump says. Same with Netanyahu, who is attuned to his base, where Trump is popular, and he wants to showcase that very close relationship. I would not make too much of the mutual defense treaty, which I do not think will actually happen. Netanyahu in the past himself was not in favor of this because it would limit Israeli independent moves, and it should be seen for what it is, an election ploy.
If the result is very similar to what happened in April, what chances do you think of some sort of national unity government with the two sides, the Blue and White Alliance and the Likud party, Benny Gantz and Benjamin Netanyahu, forming a government together?
I think that it's a realistic scenario, because unless something dramatically changes in this election, and we will, of course, have a better idea in 2.5 hours from now, what we're likely to see is more of a stalemated situation. The blue and white challengers, the centrist challengers to Netanyahu, have indicated that they intend to form a national unity government with Likud, but without Netanyahu. So I think that the magic number here is 61. If Netanyahu is able to get 61 seats on the right without Lieberman, excluding Lieberman, then I think he has a good shot at forming the government. If, on the other hand, he falls short of 61 seats, then what we might see is a national unity government with Likud and other parties and Netanyahu being replaced. So a lot is riding on this for Netanyahu personally.
Guy, it's very kind of you to join us on TRT World. That's Guy Ziv speaking to us from Washington, D.C. Really appreciate it.